Okay, I've got 1:30 on my watch and computer, so we'll get started. Call the Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 Facilities Committee meeting of the Keystone Central School Board of Directors to order. And I guess we have a fairly short agenda today, so we should be able to move through it fairly quickly. And first up on our list is the Verkada security system. I think Dr. Zengara is going to share with us information on that.
Sure, thank you.
Hey, Jeff,
Oh, yeah.
I had sent in an email and asked to ask a question. Do you want me to do that first or last?
Related to this?
No.
Or-
I had asked to be
It's
put
a
on
new-
the visitors
It's a new
list.
topic. So it's like, we don't have a spot for public, but since we're in a committee meeting, you can just allow folks to kind of jump in and add things on if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, you might as well go ahead.
Okay. The only question I had was if you guys on facilities could look. Yesterday up at Liberty Curtain, there was only one way for somebody in a wheelchair to get into the school or out of the school up front.
Okay.
And like when I was getting ready to leave yesterday, the school bus was sitting there blocking that way. And he was broke down. And I had sat out there and wait till we could get the bus running. And I'm just curious if there was a way that closer up towards the flagpole, we could notch some concrete out and make a way for people with wheelchairs and walkers to get out there.
Where are you exactly talking about? Because I'm not
If
clear.
you're looking at the front of the school, right, say you're standing at the flagpole looking at the school,
Right.
the only ramp spot is clear down to the right at the bottom.
Oh, you mean on this, off the sidewalk? there?
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's
Okay.
no way to get off the sidewalk anywhere else in that entire building up front.
Okay.
And that was the only thing I noticed that, I mean, even though it made the ADA compliant, if there was an emergency, everybody would have to rush down to that one aspect to get out because you can't jump off the curb. If we had a second way, I think that should have been thought into it. Not complaining, but I ask it, the facilities look at it because it was just a fluke that bus was broke down there yesterday and I couldn't get across to go to the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a lot of people there with chairs yesterday.
Okay.
All right.
Chair. Would you please be so kind as to consider having the contractor, I'm sorry, not the contractor, sorry. Jeff from Crabtree to come to a facilities committee, you can Zoom facilities or the work session and explain their reasoning on why there's only one, if there is only one, access ramp for ADA. When quite honestly, to think about it, I would want to see one, if I could have been part of that planning group, having one at every access egress door. Simply because of obvious reasons. So that's something, well, how many egress doors are there?
So that front door is the only one that has a curb attached to it. If you go out the other doors, it's a straight shot onto the roadways, either the back door where the loading dock is or out towards the two out on the other ends. That's just a straight shot out.
Okay,
So
okay.
the only place where there's a curb cutout issue is on that front, and that's ADA compliant. But I'm sure, as Chris and I were talking earlier, I'm sure that the ADA compliance doesn't necessarily overlap with things like the fire code in terms of where fire trucks might park. I don't think it's a terrible idea, but I wouldn't put that as anybody's fault.
Oh, I
I'm
didn't
not
say
blaming
that.
anybody, I
Yeah,
just think
yeah,
it'd be
no,
a
right.
good idea to have.
Sure,
a
but
second
just
one
to
on the front.
Elizabeth's point, I don't think that I'm not worried that we don't have. I don't think there's no way to foresee this. So now that we have it, let them turn the building over to us and we can do it on the back end rather than trying to put a change order in after they're almost done. The contract's almost done.
Yeah,
Okay.
we figure a certain amount of
of money in the budget for concrete work every year.
Okay,
So I'll just make that one, put it on the list
Just a
for the
notch.
concrete projects we have around the district.
that'd be lovely. Thank you, Chris. I would have never, we always talk about ADA, but, we were cut out of the loop, so that's really important.
I'll be honest with you, if I wasn't in the chair, I would have not noticed.
I didn't know
But
this.
I saw all the people that were parking, having to push way down there to come way back up.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
bus
well,
broke down right, just flew.
Good
Okay.
point.
Okay,
That's very good. Thank you.
no, I'm sure Sam's crew will look into it. We're-
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Now we can do.
So Bricata. So I've been tasked with looking at our safety and security cameras, access systems, gas systems, et cetera. We have a very aging system. Our access system right now is obsolete. The manufacturer's out of business. I know Sam has to source out parts via Amazon or Harlan even said at one time eBay, et cetera.
Yep.
I know that we still have some that aren't functioning and that's an expensive entity in itself. We have a camera system that all the cameras, about 436 cameras, I believe it is, are cycled to be swapped out totally by 2028.
Sorry, how many?
It's like 436. I can't remember the number. I don't have it on my spreadsheet here. I have it in the one back in the office, but it's way over 400 cameras,
Thank you.
which is a good thing. But they were sort of piecemeal together. Some of them were purchased from Jersey Shore when they switched over to their Verkada system, I believe. And then we purchased some other ones, but they are almost end of life because those cameras have 5-year warranties. And then the technology is moving at such a fast pace that some of those, from a technological standpoint, are going to be obsolete anyways over the next couple of years. We have, with the access system also, I'll just go back to that for a second. There are a number of doors that don't even have access systems on that should. There's some, well, over at to go back to the camera system, the property services, they don't have cameras over there. So we looked at putting them in as well. So there's some areas security wise that there's still a bunch of different, complexities with. So we have an aging system, 400 some cameras. We have an obsolete access system. Our environmental sensors are fine. Those are what you would call the vape sensors that are in the bathrooms. However, those run on 5-year warranties as well. And they were just put in last year, I think. So technically they're going to be out of warranty soon.
So the card swipes, just so everybody can understand this, one of those is over $500. Just one each.
Yeah.
So to get this aging equipment, to even find it is hard. But then the cost of it, because it is obsolete.
You're saying replacing the existing ones with.
Right. It would be much cheaper to go with a new system and up-to-date equipment.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is something that I'm concerned about.
Hmm?
First of all, you know me. I wish we could have bought it 3 years ago. Okay, so
I wish
if you're
you would
looking
have
for
too.
support, it's right here. But this is my question. Because of manufacturing and tariffs and everything else right now,
Mhm.
we're assuming that these are not American made and we're potentially looking at tariffs or out of stock or production problems. Has that been looked into?
So yes, absolutely. And part of my conversation the other day, and this was going to be discussed a little bit later on, but there is going to be an impact on pricing. And I had a conversation with Chris about that as well. We talked, there's going to be, come November, they're going to look at a level of pricing increase because of everything that you just basically stated.
Okay,
There's a lot of complexities of that because they're also a company that wants to sell a product and they're willing to provide some guarantees for us. But at a certain point in time, they have to follow whatever their leadership says.
absolutely.
So, yes, to all that.
Okay.
So the bottom line is when you look at all this and reviewing the kind of equipment that we have, the other thing is it's all sort of piecemeal together. It's a big puzzle piece. They're all different manufacturers and companies. They don't always talk together. It's a very discombobulated system. So in the whole scheme of an analysis of what our safety and security system is like, it's very piecemeal together. Does it work okay? Yes, it does. Could it function a lot better? Absolutely. I think a lot of decisions were made at that point in time. I don't know that everything was looked at cohesively. It was sort of just looked at as parts. Like, we have an access system that seems to be working. Let's stick with it. We need a new camera system. Let's get these 400 some cameras. Let's buy this Genetec software system that goes in it, and so on. So when reviewing this, in my opinion, and talking with the safety and security guys, we really would like to see a cohesive system that talks together. So when doors are open or triggered open, alarms go off, so security knows it. The camera then goes to those doors to show if somebody actually is walking in. A guest system that is very seamless, where it can actually follow people within the school if they come in and know where they're at, because it has facial recognition software, etc. That being said, there is a price for everything, right? And so what we worked out, and I've done a lot of research, because at the end of the day, it's all about, the almighty dollar. And we have to look at a cost-effective, balance between what would happen if we wanted to replace everything that we currently have right now in the same sort of manner that we have it, which is going to be on your left-hand side of that spreadsheet that I gave you. And then I'll talk through this whole thing, but on the right-hand side, which would be what Verkada has to offer. All right. And the reason you may say, well, why is it just Verkada? Why are you just talking about Verkada? Well, I've done a lot of research on the systems. A lot of school districts in Pennsylvania utilize Verkada. Right around us, Jersey Shore has it, Williamsport has it, and State College has it. And that's just close proximity. Other than that, there's over, I forget, 200 some districts that utilize them as well, just in Pennsylvania. But it's a national company. So when you look down that left-hand column, and I got these numbers from DES, because that's who we deal with our current camera system. They're out of Pittsburgh. You will see the place of replacing cameras within the next 5 years is 742,000, with servers, because the cameras then probably, because of technology, will be more powerful than the kind of cameras that we have in place, which she told me they would be. You're going to have to look at to make sure your servers can operate those. So we put in a price of approximately $100,000, which could be a little bit exorbitant. I'm not quite sure. Jeremy wasn't sure based on what we would need. So we would 5 servers at $20,000 to handle all of the cameras. That may be off a little bit. I don't know, but it's as close as I could get when we're having those conversations. The environmental sensors, which would be out of warranty by the time 2028 comes along, would be about 109,000. The guest system that we currently use, Schoolgate Guardian, the guest system is, so when somebody comes and they sign in, there's a system that they log into, and it'll run to see if they're, if they have warrants or if they're on any predator list, etc. So that would be about another 34. And then within that 5 years, you would also have to add in about $70,000 for new camera licenses with those new cameras. $70,000 for that. So when you look at that list, all of that doesn't include an access system, because I don't have a price on a replacement access system based on what we have in place, because it's obsolete. So I can't do an apples to apples with that. So just alone with cameras, environmental sensors, the servers, the guest system, you're looking at over the next 5 years, a potential cost of $910,000 just to replace those without a swipe system upgrade. Now, people can say, well, may not all fail. Well, they may not all fail. They may fail. I don't have a crystal ball.
Can't predict.
The bottom line is we know that they're at end of life. So if they do fail, we're going to be paying full price for cameras anyways. We're not going to get them swapped out. Plus, if we do have to swap them out, we have to do the work on swapping them out because our technology team does it, or Sam does work with access systems, et cetera. DES doesn't provide us that service. So if we just look at this over time, if you look at a 10-year model, that would be the 910 basically twice, because you'd have to do this again in another 5 years, right? So that's the way that was worked out. And then if you add in the environmental sensors, the guest, et cetera, a 5-year total for just replacing what we have without an access system would be around 10 or 1,055,000. If you look at that as a 10-year model, it'd be 210 or 2,110,000. So that's basically double. Now, when you look at the Verkada system, and I can skip through all this, but for the most part, this system is very comprehensive. So it's cameras, it's the access systems, which is the swipe systems, it's the environmental, basically the vape sensors, it's the intercom systems for all the buildings. It includes a lot of things that you don't see in here because I have a very more in-depth quote, but I wasn't going to share that with you now until we wanted to see where this moves to. But it also has built in like TVs for the secretaries to have, TVs for the principals to have in their office that cycle the cameras through. The numbers that I'm going to go through also include all of our buildings, including Liberty Curtain, even though Liberty Curtain has new security stuff in it. I think some of you that saw the cameras last night in the office could see that they were very pixelated. Even though they're brand new cameras, the software is very pixelated. And so, and that company is DES also. DES put that system in as well. So this includes cameras, access system, vape system, the guest system, which again, runs you through all the necessary law enforcement background checks, et cetera, intercom systems, and so on. So the bottom line is if you looked at this as a 5-year total, you'd be about 1.113 for them. So slightly higher than the 5-year total for our piecemeal system without an access system or a swipe system. And a 10-year total of 1.6, which is $500,000 less than a 10-year total of a piecemeal system. And you're going to wonder why that is. Well, because after 5 years with Verkada, you don't have to do anything except for pay for licensing for the next 5 years because all your equipment's in place, right? So all your equipment's in place for Verkada. It has a 10-year warranty. So at the end of 5 years, the only thing you do is pay another $300,000 for licensing for the next 5 years. And throughout those all 10 years, they come and swap cameras out. If they break down, they do all that stuff. That's all included as part of the warranty. So our tech team, our maintenance team, none of them have to do that.
So they swap it out regardless.
Within
Anytime
that
they
10
go-
years, it's all covered.
Anytime they go down or whatever.
Anytime they go down, they have 24/7 customer service. I think Chris was here for the presentation. You actually speak to a person
Oh,
for the 24/7 customer
That's
service.
different.
Real difficult.
Yeah, it's a little different. So, yeah, the problem is it's a price tag that's pretty substantial.
no.
Well, I mean, in the eyes of where we're at right now. However, they have worked on financing options for us as well. They were working to try to eat the interest on 5 years for us to break the payment down to 5 years. The good thing about that is it breaks it down to about $275,000 a year. The other good thing about that is potentially, and the strange thing is PCCD, I've been getting more and more updates from PCCD. It seems like they're starting to slowly release the grants for them, but they haven't released the mental health and school security one yet. And theoretically, if we were to apply for PCCD again this year, we get about $274,000 in PCCD money. But I can't guarantee it because it's not there yet. The other thing is I applied for the COPS grant way back in June, and I haven't even received, it just still says submitted. I have not received a you're denied or you've been successful. That was 500,000. So a lot of unknowns.
This system, when they come and demonstrate it,
Could you pull your mic over, please? Thanks.
this system, when they come and demonstrate it, you folks will see a night and day
Oh, I,
difference. The facial recognition at the door alone can runs you through all kinds of different systems and can say you're not allowed where kids are and not let you in. And then the recognition that it can literally follow you through wherever you go in the school. One of the officers could say, where did Chris Scaff go in the school? And it'll pick up my entire truck through
Yeah.
the school.
that's,
And it's immediate. It's not like when we had to sit and wait.
Randy, do they also increase or keep the software and that up to date? Keep it
Mhm.
So
Like
they do automatic
current-
upgrades. Once you have Verkada, if they do a software update, it updates everybody's. So there's no upcharge for software updates. This price is this price for 10 years. You know, other than, you know, if you keep it for after 10 years and things break down, then that's different. You'll have to start replacing cameras, et cetera. But I'll show you this. This is the nice thing. And I showed the principals this. Right now we have we have 4 cameras on buses. And we have it at your fingertips. So as a principal, if there's ever an issue on, it's called Verkada Command, so all the principals, anybody that wanted, the superintendents, property services, you would have an app on your phone that you get 24/7 access. So this is a bus that hasn't been in action. It was earlier today, but you can see they put it on 2 buses right now. Just so we could test it out. Right there's somebody walking on it, but
I've seen that.
yeah.
What's really nice is like, if something happens on a bus, Scott has to go down to Susquehanna, look at their videos and all that and hope they're working. We're here, he can tap right into it right from his office and see what's
that
happening.
was,
It's
Yeah,
instant.
or
The same
if
as
he's
he
out.
can look at any other school in the district. All from one spot.
or you could do it from your phone.
Or your phone.
Mhm.
Yeah, which we have access somewhat on our phone, but the Genetec system is a little bit more clunky than this. And the bus price is not figured into this. I will let you know that now because
Right.
we're running it on 2 buses because they were like, we don't want to put this in this quote until we know it works for you. Because what happens is they run 2 different versions of bus videos. One where when the bus pulls in from the day after the run's over, it downloads when the bus is parked inside of the parking lot. That one is it goes right up to the cloud. It's about a half-hour download. The other one is an automatic download as the bus is driving, which runs on cellular.
mhm.
But the problem is they want to evaluate, because we have a lot of rural bus runs, if the cameras aren't functioning on those rural bus runs, they're like, you shouldn't spend the extra money on a system that's not going to give you what you want because you're going to have to pay an exorbitant fee for cellular or whatever it is. I don't even know what that would be.
Sure, Jeff?
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I have way too many questions, so I'm going to edit, okay?
These.
Because I hear you. I hear you, Chair Jeff. So that was one of my main questions. Is this cellular? Are they using cell towers only or fiber optics?
For
Um,
the buses, it's all cellular.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then.
This is all,
in-house-
this is all cloud-based. Everything else is cloud. All the schools are cloud-based.
Okay, so everything else would be fiber optics?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. This is the question I have. I know the county's been working really hard on this. Putting cell towers up so we don't have the dark spots.
Yeah.
So the county knows where those well, at least the county is a good resource to know where those dark spots are. And if there are still dark spots on roads that the bus company uses,
Mhm.
that would be probably
Identify.
helpful for that communication to happen.
Mhm.
But that's
Um,
for a radio system.
Okay, well, however, just so,
Mhm.
because the real time is
Mhm.
fabulous. My next question is, with the cell tower technology, and I'm sort of assuming there's no problem if we lose electricity, the bus company loses electricity, I know we have generators,
Mhm.
okay? Is that ever going to be an issue if the power's cut in real time?
I mean, for the,
Anything? Anything?
So
uh,
I can answer some of this.
Please,
yeah.
thank you.
So most of these, you know, newer technology equipment, it will all have a battery backup for a certain period of time.
Sure.
yeah.
Most of those are like 30-minute backup.
Mhm.
I mean, we have those on systems in the schools already
Okay.
for the, you know, computer servers and things like that.
Okay, well, that
Yeah.
would be something to,
Yeah, I would assume any
don't,
long period of time, but you know, more than likely we won't need to utilize the system at that point because there won't be kids potentially in the schools, you know, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
So my next question is, I already assume you've done your due diligence, you've already gotten input from IT, okay?
Mhm.
And then the county is a potential with the cell towers. What about local law enforcement and everything? Is this something that,
So that's the other thing that we can do if we wish, because I've actually talked, there was a situation at one point in time we had at Rob, and I talked with the local police chief at Lock Haven and about providing access to them or the 911 center. There are ways that we can provide them remote access to the whole system.
okay, good. That
And,
was my
and
question.
the reason why our access system is an issue is because if they go down, our local law enforcement,
Right.
some of them have cards or, you know, or codes. And if they get there and they can't use them, that creates a problem. But
Okay.
but they would have access to all the buildings through cameras or the swipes if needed.
Okay. And your COPS grant,
Mhm.
um, I understand that you haven't heard back from
Yeah.
them. And is there anything else we can help with that, or a representative or a congressperson or somebody? So, because knowing whether or not you got the funding is
Yeah.
critical for us to move forward, at least it is for me.
Yeah.
And also GT Thompson, our congressperson,
Mm.
is really into safety and security. And I don't know if he has been approached for,
Yeah, they wrote a letter. They,
but no, for new funding
oh,
for this. Because he would know the federal programs out there, et cetera. Would he,
GT knows about it. And we've talked, I
okay,
talked with GT about it. And we were kind of waiting to get this right here. So that we could lock in prices and talk more about it.
that would be
So
huge.
this isn't something that just came up. We've been working
I
on
know,
this
yeah.
yeah.
For
For
a
a
while.
while.
almost a year, I'd say.
Yeah, and they, like I said, he wrote a letter and then I contacted, I think Dr. Redmond gave me the card of one of his associates that works for him and I sent an email, but I have never heard back from that gentleman. But,
Okay,
I mean, yeah, I'd love to see if the local legislators would be able to help out with such a thing. But as for the COPS grant, I have no idea when they make these decisions. I've tried to figure it out and it would be GT's call because it's a federal
Mhm.
grant. But the PCCD one may be tied to the state budget. I'm not sure because there's new ones that are coming out, so it doesn't necessarily seem that way, but maybe it is when it's all said and done. And I think they're meeting on the 29th of September to maybe have another vote. So maybe we'll hear more about that. I mean, this would make this a no-brainer sort of if I could apply for the PCCD because it would cover it right off the bat as long as we did it every year. And if we had the COPS grant, wow, I mean, that covers almost 2 years. But yeah,
okay, but Jeff. may I-
Does,
Oh, go ahead.
does Susquehanna have any investment in the bus cameras at all?
they do
Is that
not.
strictly on the district?
Yeah,
For-
that's
for
right,
our
as part of the
contract,
district.
Any camera systems or anything like that, we have to purchase.
Mhm.
Just
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm sold, okay, but this is sort of a recommendation to consider, Jeff. Is that Randy and Chris, they're looking at the backside of the financing issue. And I mean, I'm sold on this. I wanted this, 3 years ago. So it's not, I would recommend this to everyone right now, with the understanding that if there's an update,
Mhm.
because, I can't imagine with safety and security, such a long-term issue. And I don't think it's going away that our federal government, state government won't support us. Because you've done due diligence, you've done an excellent job doing all the research. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, I think all of us would say, yeah, we definitely, the system we have is outdated. It needs replaced.
Yeah.
And I think I would recommend, as I would think our committee would recommend, the fact that we would love to move ahead with this pending what we hear about the
Money's.
the money and the revenue that we're looking at as far as the PCCD grant and COPS or whatever else.
If I may, I think one of the things, Randy, that you did a really nice job with is just comparing what we know we're gonna have to spend if we stay with our current system.
Right.
Compared with what we would have to spend if we went with the new system. So no matter what we do, we're spending some money.
Mhm.
And for a slight difference, slight when we compare it over the course of time, for a slight difference, we can get a much better system that's much more effective. We know we're gonna have the money outlay, whether or not we get grants, we're gonna have to fix our current system or change it to a new one.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think it would probably be a strategic mistake to wait for grant funding to make a move on this, because we're never gonna know what that's gonna look like. And this is a real need that we know we're gonna have to put money into regardless of our funding stream.
I'd like to give them at
Do we-
least
do
30
we-
days. Give them 30 days to figure all this out.
Do we have, let's say there are no grants,
Mhm.
then where do we go as far as how do we fund
Same
it? I agree
Yeah.
with you. I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do one way or the other.
And this is a conversation that we've been having at the cabinet level of, we know that there are some things that we have to fund whether we want to or not. And so then how do we as an administrative group look at all of the things that we are budgeting and figure out where we can delay some things or move some things around or really kind of get into the really want to have versus really must have. And at the end of the day, we have an obligation to keep our students safe, and this is money that we have to spend. So we just find a way to carve it out.
Well, if you could get, like, if that, you said that they would, give us, like, you could finance this over 5 years
Mhm.
and what was it, like
It's like
275, something like that.
275-ish. Yeah. I mean,
if you can find a way to find a space in the overall budget for that per year, I mean, I know it's not easy, but if you're confident that we can do that, in your conversations, I would say then we recommend we do it, because you're right. Either way,
Mhm.
do we want to put $1 million into an old worn out system?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like anything else. You're going to dump money into an old car. You're going to bite the bullet and get one that may be a little bit more, but you're going to have a whole lot
Right.
longer lifespan out of it and a much better product.
I do have some PCCD money sitting right now that was set aside because I got it through the Career Tech Ed Center. It's about 70-ish thousand that was written for access systems. We were looking at that as potentially covering the bus systems if they worked, but that's sort of a question mark right now. So I still have that out there that I need to expend. So that could be part of a first year installment. That only changes it to 205, but it changes it. And
So it'll
so,
help a little.
yeah. And again, if the rest of the PCCD comes out, then that's a different dynamic as well. But at least there's something there I can at least apply towards it now. And I've been looking for other grants. It's just, there's nothing specific for security equipment other than the COPS and the PCCD one, which I would think there's more, but it's, yeah,
The
Yeah.
money shows up after a tragedy.
well, that's what I said. It's never a priority till it's a priority,
That's right.
you know?
That's right.
And
Well, it's a
so,
priority for us. I mean, I feel confident to say that, right, Jen?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like putting a roof on your house. No one wants to pay for it, right? But you gotta have a roof.
So those are the conversations that we have. Because I don't think that you can drain the PSO money to pay for that, because we have our own problems
Mhm.
at all 8 buildings as well.
Oh, I know.
I think the two things are equally important So, you know,
Yeah.
if there's a way to come up with this money somewhere else, instead of pulling it straight from PSO funding, that would be wonderful.
I would hate to, I would not support taking it away from PSO. I would take it away from something else, but not that, because we're not going back there again.
It would probably be a combination of a little bit of everything. It would be, so some things we can't really do much about, our staffing costs, for instance, in terms of we have to pay the contracts that we have. So we have to look at a little bit of technology, a little bit of curriculum, a little bit of all of the things that we do that are discretionary, right? That are not established contracts and collective bargaining agreements and pull it together. At the end of the day, I'm confident that we can find money and it won't be easy and it won't be pleasant. And there are some things that we won't be able to do, but I would rather us have a system that protects our kids. You know, it's one of those situations we'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Well, this is
Well,
a part
it sounds to me like, you know, did you just mention a little bit ago that there would be a price increase in November?
Yeah, I mean, they could explain more about it if you want them to come in and do a presentation
that would
on
be
the
great.
October work session. They could come in and do, or the voting session, either one. It would be November. They have worked towards some, like I said, because what I said to them is if let's just say tomorrow, everybody says, yes, we want this system.
Right.
I told them, like, I theoretically want you to come and install it until the summertime.
Oh, gosh.
Because, and so I don't want our guarantees, our warranty to start until July 1st of next
Next
summer.
year.
And they're like, we can guarantee that, you know, they can talk to their deal shop and they would say, yep, if you sign on with us, we won't start your warranty until July 1st of 2026.
And they would guarantee that price.
They would guarantee that in writing, and our price, if it was done, I don't know if it could be done at the November board meeting or if it has to be done before the November board meeting. I can ask them a little bit more because when they say the prices increases in November, is it November 1st or is it the 15th? I don't know from their perspective.
Well, I would think that if they want to sell a system for $1 million, that they would find a way to.
I would
work
think
with
that they
us.
would work on it. And I will say this much. They've been extremely fair when it comes to discounting and talking about being able to like get us eat the interest on a 5-year loan because they know it's a substantial, you know, project. I mean, even when you look at other school districts around us, like we have a large number of buildings. I mean, this is considering they're adding on property services for coverage. They're going to even swap out all the cameras and stuff up at the stadium, you know, so this is a large project for them. And so,
They cut back a huge amount already.
yeah, they have.
Big time.
Yeah. So you can tell that they want the business and that's, I can appreciate it, but, and it would be different if I didn't think that they were a quality company because I've heard nothing but great things about them from everybody that has them. So, but
We're sold.
we just need to talk to them more. And I mean, I've been straight up and honest with them because I said, I used to work in sales, so I know what it's like to try to get to this. I need a certain amount of sales by a certain date. So I'm going to tell you this. And I said, I'm going to be very transparent with you this whole process because I don't want to keep you hanging if you're not going to get this project, but I want you to also be fair with us because, you know, we'd love to have your product, but you have to make it reasonable for us. And so they have been.
So let me make this suggestion. If we could have them come in
Mhm.
and do a presentation to us, maybe at this next work session, if possible. And so everybody,
Mhm.
all board members
Mhm.
can see it.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then we as a committee would make a recommendation that this is a high priority thing. And we really need to support this. And, you know, if we get the grants, fine. If not, we'll just have to, like
Mhm.
Frank said, just pull things from here and there to make it work. But you know, I think we need to emphasize to the full board that this is something that it's a security safety thing.
And to the public, very important.
And I really think that it's,
So outside of installing a camera or installing a card swipe right now, we're basically contracting someone to come in and do most of the work.
Mhm.
And that comes out of PSO budget. So I fully support doing this. 100%. You know, it's just a matter of,
Mhm,
like Dr. Redmond said, where you
mhm.
find the funding.
The nice part of this system is there, most of the wiring that's already in place, they can already
utilize.
use.
Oh my God, that never happens.
That saves a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
I will tell you this too, that the guy that came up from the company that represents Verkada did a very thorough walkthrough of the
Yeah.
site. And he actually cut cameras out because we were over cameraed, if you believe that.
In some spot, yeah, okay.
Because they put overkill in some spots where the new technology, you only need 2 cameras instead of 4. You know what I mean? So they've been very fair because they could have come in and said, oh, no, you need 4 new cameras, but they've cut some out as well. What I would like to do too, if we're going to bring them in for a presentation, because I think that you need to hear more about some of the challenges that we face, that we can't, it would be more of an executive type of discussion. Like if we bring them in either on the work session or the voting session, whatever you deem you want to, we have them preliminarily do an executive session or first do that and then come in and do a public
Good idea,
explanation of their system.
good idea.
Yeah, that's a good point because I'm sure there's some sensitive stuff that you don't
Right.
want to have done in a public.
How long do you think it would
forum.
take for them to do that executives part?
I mean, I could tell them this is how much time you have and and I think it would help if you had the security officers here and maybe some of the principals to hear that as well in an executive session. Just to hear the challenges that they face with that. And then allow them then to come into the public and just say, this is our product, this is what it does, blah, blah, blah.
I
type of
love
thing.
that, that's great.
But like I said, I can say to them, like, you're going to only have this amount of time. They would probably spend their time talking about the cost effectiveness of their system with you. Whereas we, the officers, the principals, et cetera, would talk about the challenges of the system because Verkada doesn't know all of those because they don't live using them every day, but they can talk about what they're willing to do to help work with you on such a system.
Would it be advantageous to have a separate executive meeting on a different night where they weren't so rushed to
flexible.
explain it?
I think it's a great
Have
idea.
a special executive meeting,
I would love that.
because what they have to
Focus.
talk about, I can see where it can be a little lengthy, because some of us already been through it.
Yeah, all of that stuff you're talking about is more than a half an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do
So-
that on a separate night and
I'd
it's
say
up to you.
let's call a special executive meeting and do it that way.
Okay, I'll talk to the chair about that because he's the only one that can call that. So then,
And then whatever coordinates with that schedule for them, and I don't need them here in person, I mean, just to be.
I'm sure that
Zoom-
I'm
Zoom's
sure that they
fine.
will. Yeah, I
Whatever
know,
they
but I'm
wanna
sure
do.
the guy is their guys from Lancaster.
Ooh, okay,
So he'll come.
well, I'm
So-
just letting you know.
Yeah.
timing wise, would the facilities committee be opposed to scheduling their meeting for the public portion in next week's meeting? Do the special meeting after that to kind of get into some of the concerns that we have. And then that would set up the board to be able to make a decision on the 9th in the voting session. So that we can kind of steer clear of that November price change.
Well, we need information on that.
Yeah, I mean, let me call them after the meeting here today and just see.
If you could shoot us an email, that'd be very helpful.
Yeah, let me see where they stand with some things. Cause if I can get them to say we can be okay up until the November board meeting, then that's a different dynamic. You don't have to hurry up and rush and push.
Right.
We can
Yeah.
More
we can
flexible.
stretch it after even the voting meeting. We could do the work session like normal next week, the voting, and then have an executive sometime between the 9th and the November meeting
Or do the executive before the voting session.
or whatever. And then that way, as long as they would be okay with, they would probably be like, we don't mind all of that. And yes, we do have these price increases. We'll just need a yes or no answer by your November vote.
Right.
That's probably what I'm assuming they're gonna say. But I'll verify that with
The
them.
more flexible they can be with us, the better.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Cause we can always
Well, they
do a
needed it-
special vote meeting night
They
too, so.
needed to know by the end of November, so we'll have two more sets of meetings before the end of November.
Mhm.
That'll give us all a little bit of time to chew on what we're talking about.
Yep, that was great, Randy. Good job. Please
Thank
thank
you.
everyone that was involved.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that helped out with it. I'll call them and then we'll see where that goes. And then I can get back to you and then you can change your date structure based on what they say.
Mhm.
So, all right.
Great.
I probably don't need to do this with finance then because it's sort of, I don't know if you think I need to or not, but they're gonna hear all of it at the
Right.
executive session anyway, so.
Yeah.
They can watch the recording.
I'm all right with that. I have other stuff to do.
Yeah, no, it should be, your time is of value. I mean, there's nothing, all the information's out there.
All right.
Up to you.
Thank you,
All right.
Randy.
Good
Yep.
job.
Thanks, Randy.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
All right, when you have two other things on here, and I guess Sam's gonna cover both of these. First is, we had talked last week, or I should say last month rather, about the concrete work that needs done on the sidewalk over at Mill Hall Elementary. And I think Sam has since gotten some price
No, so
or
my
what?
reason for putting this on here is the public bid ends. We're currently out for public bid. That public bid is due to us, September 25th.
Mhm.
So once I have those, bids in hand, I would like to put that on, run it through the work session and then vote on it so we can get that work done. Hopefully before it gets too cold.
Yeah,
So it was just really an update that
Mhm.
it is out for bid. As soon as they come in, I'd like to put it on the next board meeting.
Chair Jeff, may I?
yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to say something. The letter from the borough, if someone looks at board docs, they may not understand this, so I just want to put it out there.
Mhm.
Replacing sidewalks in the borough has been discussed for at least 8 or 10 years. And it's always been pushed back because it's an expense on the property owner. But after there was an incident, someone injured themselves badly. That was the impetus to go from conversation to implementation. So there's sidewalks all over the borough of Mill Hall that are being replaced, and it's for people that walk, and I see kids walk to school all the time, every day. So I'm really glad that we're able to do this and that it's getting done because your photograph is very explanatory.
Yeah, and the letter only called out for a small portion, but that
Mhm.
whole stretch of sidewalk is the worst sidewalk that we have between the elementary school and the middle school.
Well, you know what's funny is compared to some of the other sidewalks, it's not that bad.
So.
But thank you.
And this bid will include 2 ADA ramps going
Yep,
off
I
either
saw-
end at that corner.
Is this,
So one to go across the street from the playground and one to go towards Central Mountain Middle that
Mhm.
way.
is
Yes.
this the sidewalk along Kyler Avenue?
Yes.
Yes.
The playground.
That's what it looked like, so.
Mhm. Good.
Okay, sounds like a plan for that one. And last item is, and I think we mentioned this briefly last time, about the chairlift down at Rob.
So the chairlift at Rob was installed in 1994. We've had it repaired multiple times just in the last, 13 months that I've been around. And I spoke with the 2 gentlemen from the repair company just 2 weeks ago, and I had them stop. They couldn't get it fixed. They couldn't, and we we're just bleeding money to them for labor costs. So I said, we're done, hodgepodging this thing together to run for a week or 2 and then it breaks down again. So we reached out, we got 1 quote right now and I'm seeking others. But you can tell by the quote that's on here that it is not going to be cheap. And that's something that we hadn't budgeted for this year. So
I have a question.
So,
No, I didn't Google this. Do you have a schematic or a web page or something where we can actually, is this literally like replacing that same idea where, they're going up? This is an actual like cage lift, or what is this?
So this would be where you would roll your wheelchair onto, and then it brings you around the corner and up. It's similar to what is there now, but it is much more elaborate.
Like a wheelchair user can't use a stair lift.
No,
It's there now.
Yeah,
This is a platform, like a box, and you just back into it or pull into it. And then it goes up
Oh,
around the
okay,
corner
that's-
and levels out.
that's where the confusion was. Okay, thank you. And this goes outside of the building, correct?
No,
No,
This
it's
goes
inside.
100%
It's-
inside. Okay,
100%
is
inside,
that the one inside?
the front door.
On the main entrance?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was.
'Cause I know there-
Yeah.
yeah,
Church.
because I know there used to be one down on the other end.
There is.
That's
Yeah,
still
there's
there?
That one is there, and we just repaired that last week.
Yeah, it's pretty old.
It
too.
was having some issues, so we had to repair that one.
well, that's my question. It's like you brought up a good point. I mean, are they used, that chairlift design in today's world, are they used? Is there a big need for that type of thing, or is that one obsolete? Not really used that much?
That other one could stand to be replaced as well
Okay, so that should
with
go
a
on.
newer style, but I mean,
But
for now,
that's
that's what
just-
we have.
Okay, so they still need it?
But that one is not for wheelchairs,
No,
correct?
No,
just for
that's
a
a-
person
That's
to
just
sit.
for like a seated type of
Yes.
lift.
Okay,
That's for like somebody in a walker that
Yeah.
can't do stairs or something like that.
Exactly.
so
Yeah, so
that,
that one goes out to the art room.
Okay.
On that Washington Street side of the building.
Mhm.
And it serves that exit and the art room area.
okay, well, if they still need it, and they can't use the elevator because it's on, I understand.
Yeah, the elevator doesn't go to all 3 floors, so that's.
Yeah,
why-
that was always been a discussion item too, but.
Well,
Well, good luck with this and we'll see what else what other estimates you get.
So the intent, if I'm understanding, is to put this also on the work session, assuming you get more bids.
Yes, I don't wanna move forward until we get more bids.
But if you do get more, then we'll
Yes.
put it on the work session.
That is correct.
Okay.
Well, this is my question I have though. If you're showing us estimate, I'm just trying to learn.
Mhm.
If you're showing this estimate and other companies now want to bid on it, but they've already seen this estimate, is that gonna cause us a problem?
I suppose it could. I don't know.
I can hook you up with the folks that put the elevator in my house, the platform lift. He's a pretty good guy to deal with.
Yep.
It's not a
Yeah.
bad point, Elizabeth, that
Yes.
maybe we should not put anything on the board docs as a public document until we have,
Or blackout?
yeah, we can just make that secure until we have,
Yeah, 'cause
Enough.
you understand. Now I'm
Mhm.
done.
Yep,
Absolutely.
it's an easy change.
So you could go in and just block this out
Yeah.
then.
yeah,
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that. That's something that's been on the discussion
Yeah.
table. Two,
I think it was a 10-year plan item that got kicked down year after year.
yes,
Uh,
and luckily Chris brought it to our attention during
You-
the opening day, so.
do you anticipate at least a couple more bids on this?
Yes,
Okay, and last one. I'm sorry, I have to bring this up. When I just Googled grants for this, what came up was, and I just Googled, federal programs, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act called IDEA. They do equipment for ADA. US Department of Education for ADA compliance, they have grants. The state, I don't know, if we're Representative Dush, but the other one is much more important, security cameras. the I just did a quick Google, nonprofit organizations, the National Center for Accessible Educational Materials. And also the Clinton County Economic Partnership, the new CEO. I mean, what's it, Jason Fitzgerald? I mean, was the president of Penn Strategies, and they specialize in grant writing for across the state. So you know how much of a priority this is, but if there's a 30-day wait on it, to just look at some of these things.
I would love to have a grant writer too.
Oh, so would I. So would
I think
I.
the whole school needs a
Yeah.
good grant writer,
So that was just a quick Google
Yeah.
for me.
Well,
and I know of one.
Well, anyway, so at least the CEO, would someone be interested in contacting any of these to see if there's a potential?
We'll definitely look into it.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
okay, well, we'll hope that you get a few more takers on this and see what we get. Hopefully get something a little lower than that initial one, so. Okay. That's all we have on there for right now. Yes,
May I just make a comment, please?
go
Off
ahead.
the agenda. Thank you. The JV baseball field, I'm not sure why it didn't come to the facilities committee meeting. It did go to curricular and non-curricular, but they canceled their meeting.
What G?
What
what
is
is
The,
it?
This is the
Um,
field down by the middle school, old softball field. By the
Yeah.
track.
that
Way
was,
back
the-
in the corner?
Yeah,
that was the proposed site.
It's a flooded area.
I know that, and I tried to express that to everyone, but I was dismissed. So I'm not sure how to word this, but there are other options. I want the program. Okay, I support the program. But I wouldn't play ball there. I wouldn't have my friends play ball there, but I know we have other options, whether it's the front of the school. They used to have a baseball field adjacent to where the stormwater retention center is. Possibly another municipal park, I don't know, but between your contacts, I really don't want the kids playing in mud. And a French drain system I don't even think that's even a talking point. Because of the water issues we already have at that location, you know what I mean?
I don't know enough about the proposal to really talk.
They just want to use it as a JV softball or a JV baseball field.
You weren't even advised, okay.
Well, I knew that they were talking about program, but I didn't know
Yeah.
where.
Okay, well, maybe amongst yourselves, you could offer them some options before we put money into that location that's
What
basically a
about that
wetland.
big yard that's out in front of the school?
It would be beautiful there, you
It
got,
doesn't have anything built in yet, but, and yeah, we can talk about that.
you got
That's a-
security there, you've
that's a
got
big
lights, you've
area.
got parking, and there's no ADA at that swamp area, that's an issue. Okay, I'm done, thank you so much.
Use that.
Sure.
Well, they have all those baseball fields down there, that Robbie Gold thing. They have it, that's practically done. Yeah, I
there's
don't know
options.
what the process to use that, who's planning to use that, who's,
Good
I
point,
don't know
Jeff.
any of those details, but if you've taken a look at that recently, those fields look like they're
Professional.
pretty well done.
Yeah.
But I have no idea. They've been working on those forever. And I think you might be able to work something out with them to
Yes.
use one of those fields.
Isn't it, I think it's the
Um,
Chestnut Grove Recreation Authority or something like that. It's you can Google the Express, it'll pop up. Or
But
whatever. Yeah.
I think, we have several months before they have to worry about that till spring comes. So I'm sure something can be worked out between now and then.
Yeah,
So.
keep us posted, okay, Sam?
All right. Anything else before we adjourn here?
No, good meeting.
Okay. Well, if not, I will call this meeting adjourned at 2:30 right on the dot.
Thank you.